from Singer's Advice. Well, thanks for joining me, and today I'm going to talk about preparing. So being prepared for whether it's a gig or an audition, just really being prepared and getting rid of any sort of way that something could go wrong, just sort of paving the way for goodness. So let's get started. So let's talk about preparing for a gig. So first of all, what are you going to be doing on that gig? What are you going to be singing on that gig? Making sure, this probably sounds very obvious, but making sure you know the song, okay? If it's one song, if it's two songs, if it's 20 songs, knowing the song, not only the song, but knowing the form of the song, so the structure of it. Yeah, just really knowing the structure of it. But not only that, finding out what version of that song you're doing. You know, people have said to me, I've gone to do this and it was this song, but then when I got there it was in a different key, it wasn't the version I knew, it was just an utter mess. We didn't rehearse. So I think you have to find out these things. Ask. Do not be afraid to ask. Don't just let someone say, oh, come along and sing this song. You turn up, it's you that's going to end up looking like you don't know what you're doing, because the singer is the front person and we're the ones that are left looking really silly if it all falls on its face. So being prepared, asking the questions, what key is it in, you know, or I need to do it in this key, or can we meet up beforehand? You know, it doesn't have to be with the whole band. It could be with one of the players, you know, the leader of the band, that's either the keys player or the guitar player, who can go through it with you, go through the structure of it with you, and you will feel confident and comfortable when you come to do the gig, that you know what you're doing and that you're not going to go wrong. Because that can really dent someone's confidence. You know, you could then end up saying, well, I'm never doing that again, because it was just hideous. So don't let that happen to yourself. I think it's just covering all bases. As you become more experienced, I mean, you know, sometimes I'll turn up to a gig, I've been told this is a song that we'd like you to do. There's no time for rehearsal, you know, but I always make sure I ask, is it in the original key and is it in the original form? Because if it's not, then I really need to know what that form is, or I need to practice the song with the band beforehand. You know, ask if you can turn up a little bit earlier and just run through it with the band or with the pianist or with someone that knows what's happening. I think it's easy to just think, yeah, I'll just learn that song and just turn up. But you don't actually really know it, you know. I know I'm not kind of covering the same ground. Just learn it, know what you're doing, be prepared. You know, if it's an audition, know what they want you to sing. Don't just kind of go, oh yeah, I know, if you get a list, I know those songs. I'll just turn up and just busk it. You can't do that. You can't busk it unless you're really experienced and you've been doing it a really long time. And yeah, you probably, you know, I could turn up to a gig and probably get through a song that I'd not really rehearsed or, you know, with the band. But as long as I know the song, yeah, I can kind of hear where the form's going. But, you know, there have been times when I've gone and done a song and the form isn't, even though I've asked, is it the original form? Yes, it is. Go and do it. No, it's not. You know, these things happen, but as long as you were prepared to the utmost that you could, then that is the main thing. I guess other tips would be to warm up before you audition or do a gig so that your voice is ready for it. I've just released the vocal warm-up workout, so you know you've got no excuses now. You can go and get that and use that before you're gigging or doing an audition. And just, it's everything you can do to make you feel at ease, because performing in itself is scary, and you know, as soon as you get up there, all that stuff, the song, the form, the key, all that has to just be alright, so that you are just there to perform and deliver this thing, not worry about all that. I've done a lot of jazz gigs where you turn up with your pad, but you know, the pad, I know the form of the songs, and you know, then you can open it out and the solos and things like that, but it's okay because you know what's coming, you know what's happening, and they're in the key that you want. So yeah, I'm talking about the same thing now, but they are the main things that you need to make sure you are prepared for. Don't allow anything to sort of trip you up. Find out what the score is with, you know, who else may you be singing with? How do they sing it? What are they expecting from you? Are they expecting you to do the lead vocal? Are they backing you up? You know, you're singing with the choir, or you're singing with, what are you doing? You know, knowing the facts. Sometimes people are very, don't want to give you the facts, but you kind of have to find out. Turn up early, go through it with whoever it is that you're doing it with, make sure the key is right for you if you're the lead vocalist, because if it's not, then it's just going to be horrendous. If you've got time, sometimes singers can get asked sort of like, you know, the day before, can you learn this song? Yeah, okay. And learning all the lyrics, if there's a lot of lyrics or you don't know the song at all, is not always going to be you know, you might not even have the time from that day to the next day to even learn the lyrics, never mind listen to the song and learn that. But you have to, kind of. Obviously, if you are going to need to have lyrics, then you want them to be as discreet as possible. Try and learn at least the first couple of words of each line so that you know what's kind of staring at it. Or I use an iPad now on gigs with lyrics if it's something I don't do that often and I need to just be reminded of the form, because sometimes from band to band the forms can be quite different of songs. You know, instrumentals are in different places, they're doing a live version of so and so song. So again, it's making sure that you're prepared and maybe having just the structure there somewhere on a stand, you know, very discreetly, so that, you know, you're not going to end up in a complete mess. And knowing what equipment you might need, what they might want you to wear. You know, I've often been on gigs where people have turned up, even though they've been told, they turn up in things that they're not really supposed to be wearing. And, you know, things like that are really important. If you want to be asked to do something again, you wouldn't believe it, but some people, if they turn up with the wrong colour lead for their instrument, or the wrong colour stand, or the wrong shoes, or the wrong jacket slightly, they will not be asked to do the gig again. Doesn't matter how amazing a player they are. And this is the crazy thing, especially if you're talking on the corporate side of music, things like that, a lot of the time it's about the look. So being prepared in that way as well is going to just take away any other stress and worry that you have. All you need to be doing is getting up and performing and doing your best with that. All the other stuff should be in place and should just be okay. So thanks for joining me. I hope that's helped, and I'll see you again soon at Singer's Advice.